Okay, so I think we're all ready to go here. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me this morning, guys. My name's Alex. I work in the business development team here at Ascertus, and I'm joined today by my colleague Josh, who also works in the business development team here at Ascertus. I'll give him a chance to say a very quick hello.
Hello all. Sorry, I couldn't find the mute button there, but yeah, thanks all for joining. Great to see everyone on the chat today.
Classic webinar glitch, early doors. So yeah, just a bit of housekeeping before we begin today. This session, you may have noticed, and you've been told previously, is recorded today. So what this means is that we will send out a recording to you via an email at the end of the webinar today. You'll also notice in that email there is a link to our newsletter, our very popular newsletter. So if you're not already signed up to this, please do. It's the best place to find all the latest information on Ascertus and all the latest information on iManage. Now, you'll also notice everyone outside of myself and Josh are on mute. Don't worry, this is purely to make sure that there's no background noise outside to distract us. And there will be an opportunity at the end of the session for a quick Q&A where we'll answer all of your burning questions. So what I'll do is I'll just crack on with this now and turn my camera off so we can focus on the presentation. So it's a very quick picture of myself and Josh looking a little bit smarter than normal. In terms of the agenda today, it's quite a straightforward one. I will kick things off by delivering a brief presentation that focuses on, what iManage Share is, why you should use it, and why people across our client base and across all iManage users are utilizing this very heavily today. I'll then pass over to Josh to deliver the iManage Share demo, and within this demo he'll really focus on three key areas. So these will be sort of sharing information directly from iManage work, which I know you're all very familiar with. I can see some people in the webinar today are on the cloud and some people are on premise, but many of you will be using the system across the board. We'll also focus on how we can securely share large files from Outlook. This is a really common question that people have when they start using iManage. And we'll also show you the brilliant portal. So this is an area where you can collaborate securely with external parties using a portal that is unique to you as a firm. Finishing off, we'll move on to a question and answering session. This is a good point to note that on the right-hand side on the webinar menu, there is a place to pop a question in. So as we go along, please feel free to pop a question in for anything that you notice, and we'll spend some time at the end answering those questions for you. So the burning question. What is iManage Share? Well, iManage Share is iManage's core sharing platform that enables industry-leading secure collaboration between iManage users and external parties such as your clients. Now, this solution is available out of the box for anyone using iManage today in the cloud, but it also can be made available for customers on-premise as well with a simple cloud bolt-on. I think many users are unaware of the really powerful capabilities that iManage Share has. And this really can be utilized to enhance your relationship with external parties. So one of the key uses for iManage Share is the secure sending of large files to external parties via Microsoft Outlook. Now, prior to using iManage, many users have really struggled to send large files to external parties, whether these are bundles for court or documents for external counsel. And the traditional workaround for this would have been to use take additional steps to send files through solutions such as OneDrive, or perhaps they would use more unsecure, less accredited sharing tools such as Dropbox. Now, this is really a thing of the past with the iManage subscription and iManage Share. I will demonstrate today how you can simply and securely send those large files condensed into a URL format for external parties, all from within Microsoft Outlook. Another fantastic reason to use iManage Share is for the secure collaboration portal. Now, we're definitely seeing in the world that we live in today, this is really, really prevalent with our clients, that there's an increased desire for secure digital collaboration between lawyers and legal teams and their external parties. Now, this all comes together really, really well in your company branded iManage Share portal. So within this space, users can invite external parties to immediately collaborate on a set of documents as part of a project, with external users able to view these documents and files, contribute to amendments, and even create new versions, all without having to have iManage licenses themselves. They'll even have immediate access to really neat little things like receiving notifications when documents have been changed, and they'll also have the option to tag documents when they've been signed to alert people within your firm. And Josh will show this for you today. Now, the beauty of this portal really is that every activity that takes place, whether it's an action from an external user, so one of your clients, or from an internal iManage user, it's fully audited. So with this feature, you're able to view a full trail of events that you can refer back to in the future for compliance reasons if need be, or to simply remind you of changes that have taken place. Now, you'll notice today that everything that we share with you in the demonstration is very tightly integrated with your familiar applications that you use every day. So these are, Microsoft Outlook and your iManage package, but also, if needs be, your mobile phone, it's very accessible to use iManage Share on there as well. Now, this integration and this accessibility makes it incredibly easy to use the technology, and I'll pass it over to Josh now to demonstrate this, and we can follow up from there with a Q&A. So I'll just pass it over to Josh.
Brilliant, thanks, Alex. Perfect. So just putting up my screen there. Hopefully you can now see my screen. Can you, Alex?
I'll mute myself. I can, Josh. Yes.
Perfect. Always good to double check that I'm not just talking to myself there. Brilliant. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. So really just want to set the scene today. We're going to sort of walk you through a brief overview of some of the key functionalities available within iManage Share, some of those key use cases, and as Alex said, obviously we will be doing a Q&A at the end of the session as well. So if you've got any questions throughout, feel free to pop those in the chat box and we will certainly address those at the end of the presentation today. Okay, brilliant. So as Alex said, obviously iManage Share is a collaborative portal. It really allows you to share content with external users, whether they be outside counsel, with your clients directly, with the wider business, with perhaps third-party suppliers or vendors directly. Really depends on your organization, whether you're a sort of corporate in-house department, or if you are, of course, a professional services firm there. We've got clients across multiple sectors using iManage in slightly different ways, but ultimately that concept remains very much the same, the ability to share content securely in an auditable manner with those external parties there. So ultimately, you can share links to single documents, or you can actually bundle documents together. Of course, you're in complete control in terms of defining who has access to what, and more critically, how they can actually access and interact with that content as well. So we'll walk you through a few of those different options today. But just reiterating what Alex said there, Share is I suppose without a technology like Share, the only way to really be able to present content externally is through things like email, adding attachments, which you don't always want to do because you can't confirm that the individual has actually received the content that you're sharing there. Ultimately, you don't have an audit trail there of those particular edits or amendments as that document has evolved over its lifespan. And if you're wanting to share large volumes of data, with sort of limitations within Outlook there, such as 20 megabytes, once it exceeds that, it can be increasingly difficult to actually share that content in a secure manner. And oftentimes people will opt for alternative methods, things like Dropbox, as Alex referenced there, are not necessarily the most secure tools. And some organizations will actually block its use entirely. So, you may have to consult with IT at times to assist. And what should be a relatively straightforward exercise, simply sharing a document, becomes quite a time-consuming, complicated, and frustrating process. So we want to walk you through today how iManage Share can sort of transform that exercise and how it can enable you to really easily and efficiently share content there. So I want to start here in what should hopefully be a familiar experience here. So we are in iManage Work 10. This is the latest product offering from iManage, which I think most on the call today are utilizing or on there, certainly on their way there, if not. So I want to guide you through how we can actually interact with iManage Share directly here from within iManage Work. As Alex said, it's very, very closely integrated with one another. And it maintains that sense of matter centricity as well. So if we just go ahead and open up a recent matter here, let's take a look at the Bank of America matter here as an example. You'll notice that we've actually got a dedicated external share folder here within our matter itself. So if we go ahead and open this up, we'll actually see a number of different shared folders that the team and I have created recently. You'll see that some of these I don't actually have access to. So I can actually see here, I don't have specific access rights. So again, it's got that same robust security model that we're used to and familiar with in iManage Work. Here's one that I do actually have access to. So I can go ahead and manage the security and go ahead and actually open up that particular folder. But I want to take it back a level. How do we actually create these new workspaces, these new external share folders? So we can go ahead and simply hit the More Actions option here on the right-hand side, and we can go ahead and navigate to the New Shared Folder option here. So really quick and easy to go ahead and create these new locations. We just give it a name. So, maybe what is it in reference to? Who are you sharing this with? In terms of how you manage the naming conventions there, entirely up to you. By default, it will inherit the security from the matter itself. So I can see here, share this folder with all workspace members. But if I toggle this off, I can actually apply my own security model, and I can define who has explicit access rights to this particular location. So again, entirely up to you there in terms of how you manage that security. But if we go ahead and open up one I've made earlier, so let's take a look at the audit folder here, the audit shared folder here. So you'll see I've bundled a number of documents together at this stage. So I want to walk you through a few different things here in terms of how we can actually manage this content. So you'll notice that we're now actually within iManage Share. So what you're seeing here is the share interface, but we're surfacing this directly within iManage Work. So you can see it's very, very deeply integrated with the Work 10 platform. So to actually go ahead and share this content, I just simply go ahead and hit the share option here on the right hand side, and I can actually review everybody that's already got explicit access. So I can see we've got 2 current members, our admin team here, and Alex has got access here as well, and we can see differing access rights at this stage as well. But to go ahead and actually add a new user, we just simply add their email address here at this stage. So again, just to reiterate, these are external users. They don't need to be an iManage licensed user. We just drop in their email address here, and it may be an individual from the wider business outside of the legal team or the departments that are using iManage. It might be our outside counsel, or it might actually be our clients directly. Again, it really depends on how your organization is structured there. So we can actually go ahead and define the access rights at this level as well. So as I said, it's not just about managing who has access, but more critically, how they can access that content. So we've got a number of different options here. So we can add them as a guest, which means they can simply view the content that we're sharing with them here. Collaborator means that they can view the content we're sharing, and they can actually upload their own documents into this shared repository. And co-owner means that they can essentially inherit a similar security and access rights that I have here in terms of being able to actually view the content, edit, make those changes, and actually then re-upload that document, that latest version back into the shared repository here. So numerous different options there in terms of access rights. We can also drop in a message here at this level as well. So we can give a brief summary as to why we're sharing this content, what the expectations are, etc. And by default, this option here is toggled off, but we can toggle this on to actually allow others to redistribute or reshare this folder to other external parties. So again, as I said, you are in complete control there in terms of defining who has access. But if you want to toggle this on and actually allow that third party to be able to actually then redistribute this, they can go ahead and do so. So we simply hit apply, and that will then go ahead and actually invite that individual in. It will there, and they can then with a link to iManage Share, where they can actually go ahead and access the content that we're sharing with them, and obviously then start working away and making those amendments. So really nice to create this sort of collaborative space between us and that external party there. Okay, so a couple of other things that I want to walk you through at this moment in time. So we've got a number of different options here within the folder itself. So we can go ahead and actually subscribe to this folder here, which is a really nice function. What this essentially allows us to do is be notified via email of when any changes have been made within this particular shared folder itself. So if that external party then share across a new document or a new version of the document there, we will actually receive a notification via email. And I can then just go ahead and log into Share. I can review those changes that have been made, and we can accept, reject, etc. We can take that into our own internal processes. So really nice to have that function, a function that's actually not yet available within iManage Work itself. So really useful to have this functionality here within iManage Share. We can also send an upload request here as well. So if we are waiting on that external party to share across their latest amendments or their comments on a particular contract, say we're going through a negotiation stage, we can actually go ahead and send them a gentle reminder, a gentle nudge there to prompt them to actually share across their latest comments. And again, that will just channel an email through to those members, and it will just remind them to share across their latest version there. So again, minimizing the need to share across emails and have that back and forth correspondence there. We can just instead manage everything through the iManage Share portal here itself. We can also review the activity as well. So I can actually go ahead and take a closer look at the activity of that particular folder or that particular document itself. What that will actually allow me to do, essentially see an audit trail, a timeline view, similar to what we're used to in iManage Work, where we can actually see every individual touch point against that particular document. So if an external party has viewed a document, or if they have made a particular amendment or change, or maybe uploaded an entirely new document, we can see that documented. Of course, it will maintain the user profile there, the date and time stamp, and obviously, what that interaction was. So really nice to have that ability to manage content once it's left our document management system, once we've actually shared that with external parties there as well. So from a compliance perspective, really, really powerful to have that visibility there. So a couple of other things I want to guide you through at this stage. So we can also add a watermark as well. So if we want to protect our IP, perhaps we're sharing across a confidential data there, we can go ahead and actually apply a watermark, which is of course configurable. You can put your company name and logo and such forth on that, and that will then actually automatically apply that stamp to that document itself. So again, really useful for when we're sharing IP externally there as well. A few other things I want to just guide you through at this stage. So we can also tag documents. So we can actually go ahead and add essentially a quick referenceable tag or comment to a particular document. What this allows us to do is actually search for or filter based upon these tags here. So I can go ahead and I can add a new tag. Maybe it's, let's say it's important, perhaps. I can go ahead and add this association here. What that allows me to do is essentially, as I said, I can then go ahead and leverage the search function or our filter options to actually go ahead and search for all content that meets that criteria, all content that is deemed important. So you've got a similar search engine to what you're familiar with in iManage, the ability to search for keywords or names or authors there, and filter options on the left hand side here as well. So I can filter, perhaps show me all of those documents that are watermarked, or I can say show me all of the PDF documents. I can say show me all of the content that has been modified between a particular date range there as well, which is really, really useful. Perfect. So that's a close look at the iManage Share interface, integrated very closely here within iManage Work itself. So really useful to have that really close integration there, and hopefully give you a sense of how we can actually create these shared workspaces, almost a window into our iManage environment, which of course we can manage as we need to there in terms of security and access rights, etc. So that is one way which we can go ahead and collaborate with external parties. But if we want to just send an ad hoc link to an individual document, we can go ahead and do so really easily here. So we can go ahead and select the More Actions menu. We can choose a particular document that we want to share with an external party. We can go navigate to the Share option here. So we can actually send a link or send a document as we would normally, of course, for internal collaboration. But if we want to share this externally, here I can copy to a shared folder, so similar to what we just walked you through a moment ago there. But if we want to send a one-off ad hoc link to this individual document, I can simply send a secure link at this stage. What this allows me to do is I can essentially upload this document to the iManage Share portal, which will allow me to create either a new document or a new version. So I can manage how I want to manipulate the versioning there at this stage. Simply upload this to iManage Share itself. That will happen in the background there. And what we'll then be presented with is a few security options. So here we can actually add expiration dates. So by default, it will be 7 days from now, but I can go ahead and give this individual till the end of the month to access this content. And thereafter, that link will expire and will no longer be accessible. So it's just adding a layer of security there. We can make this trackable as well. So this is a default option. So this will actually ask the recipient to provide their email address upon accessing that document itself. Now, again, of course, just giving us that audit trail there, I can log in, I can see who's accessed this content, where, how, and when, which is really useful to have. We can also restrict access to certain individuals here as well. So if we want to actually manage who we're sharing this with, we just simply list out their email addresses here. And obviously, when it asks for their email, it will need to match what we've presented here in order for them to actually obtain access to that content. So again, just nice to have that added layer of security at that stage there as well. So we can go ahead and just simply generate this link, just a URL-based link, which we can present in a Teams chat, into a Slack chat, into an email. How we want to distribute that, entirely up to you. Really useful to have the ability to create these links really quickly and efficiently here as well. So a couple of things to just touch upon at this stage. So some of you on the calls, they might be familiar with tools like HiQ or Citrix ShareFile, solutions that can get quite costly. Ultimately, iManage Share is all about simplicity. It's really easy to implement and set up. It's easy to use solution. And it's a very cost-effective solution as well. I mean, for those of you who are on the iManage Cloud, iManage Share is actually part of your cloud subscription model there, so it's available at no extra cost. So if you need any assistance in terms of configuring that or enabling it for your users, you can reach out to your account manager and we can certainly assist there with that side of things. But if you are on premises, you can opt to implement iManage Share as an additional module. As you can see, very closely integrated within iManage Work itself. And as I said, it's a very cost-effective solution there as well. So again, if you've got any questions around that, certainly reach out to your account manager, and we can help in terms of your iManage Share journey there as well. So a couple of the things I want to walk you through, if we just move across into Outlook now, just to guide you through how we can actually integrate here within Outlook itself. So as Alex said, obviously, it's all about meeting you where you work. As you can see, very deeply integrated within the Work 10 web experience, but also here within Outlook, where you may be sharing or distributing attachments and want to manage that in a more efficient manner. So as I said before, obviously there are limitations when it comes to sharing content via email. About 20 megabytes is the limitation there. So once it exceeds that, you're then having to look for alternative methods to distribute that data, or perhaps using zip files to try and compress those, which can just become an added complexity there. So what we can do is we can go ahead and insert iManage attachments as we would normally. So go ahead and open up our iManage prompt here. I can select a single document, I can bundle multiple together. Just simply go ahead and attach those as we would normally. We can send this to whoever we wish, an external party. Maybe we're in a contract negotiation stage, let's say, and I want to just share this across using iManage Share. So what we can do at this stage is we can just toggle on the secure send option here. So this will actually essentially grab this document, it will upload it to the iManage Share portal, and it will allow us to actually manage some security around this as well. So I can actually go ahead and again set those expiration dates as we just discussed, and we can actually restrict access to just the individuals on the original email chain here. So if this gets forwarded on to anybody else, those individuals won't actually be able to access the content that we're sharing here. So essentially, if we go ahead and open up this HTML link that iManage Share has automatically created for us, you'll see here the user experience, the third-party user experience here in terms of how those external individuals will actually see and access this content here. So all of the documents that we're sharing will be listed here. We can brand this with your company logo so it feels familiar, and those individuals simply request access here where they can actually go ahead and enter their email address, of course, that sense of that trackable nature there, and once they request access, they will then be able to actually log into iManage Share, where they can actually open up those documents, take them into their own environment, And obviously, dependent on their access rights there, if they are set as a collaborator or as a co-owner, they can obviously then upload content into this portal here, and they can actually make changes as well. So really, really nice to have this simplified experience when it comes to sharing content and collaborating there with those external parties. So just I mean, that's pretty much everything I wanted to walk you through there today. So I'm sure there are a couple of questions that have come through. I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the GoToMeeting experience there. Perfect. Brilliant. So a couple of questions that have come through. Maybe Alex, you can help in answering these. So how do we manage the data allowance there? Is there a particular way that the data storage is sort of managed?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's a very common question as well. So within your iManage package, as standard, when you will have started working with Ascertus, based on the number of users that you've allocated to iManage, you'll have been given that pooled allowance of your storage. Now, this is also applicable to iManage Share. So there's no additional package that needs to be purchased. We just pull all of that data from your existing iManage license and yeah, bring it into Share. I can also see a question right below it that I'll answer in the same notion, as it's all related really. So someone else has asked, how do we manage that data within iManage Share? So that's another really good question. What we tend to do is we tend to set up policies with our consultants during design phases of the project. And what we'll focus on doing is we'll set up policies such as, if you have sent a number of documents into iManage Share or created a number of fresh documents and put them into iManage Share, if they've been in that Share environment for 30 days, they're no longer being accessed, the last version of a document has been submitted, maybe a court case is over, what we can then do is we can remove it immediately from iManage Share. And that's really good, because what that enables you to do is reallocate that data to something more important and maybe bring it back into your iManage environment. Hopefully that answers your question.
Brilliant, that's great. Thanks, Alex. Another one's come through in terms of multi-factor authentication and single sign-on. Are we able to implement with MFA and SSO there?
Yep, really simple. Just like iManage in general, it's a very straightforward process to set up multi-factor authentication. So if that's something that you would like to do and replicate the effort that's been put into iManage, all you guys need to do is speak with your account manager. Your account manager then can set up a call with the pre-sales guys, and we can get that set up for you. No problem at all.
Brilliant. Okay, that's great. Thanks, Alex. I think that's pretty much all we've got time for today. So we'll certainly follow up in the coming days there with a link to the recording for today's session. And obviously feel free to distribute that amongst the team there if anyone else is interested in taking a closer look at Share. And we'll certainly pick up some of the further questions there on a one-to-one basis as well. But yeah, I just want to thank you all for your time today. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you found the session useful, and look forward to catching up again soon.
Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Brilliant. Thanks all. Take care.